Okay, we are live. Sir. Okay, we're going to just do it. All right. So I'm Sensei Alex. This is Fist and Foot Martial Arts, where we discuss martial arts, self-defense, and where they meet. Not all martial arts is self-defense, not all self-defense is martial arts. So we're going to start off today with working boxing. And here's the White Knight. For obvious reasons. First of all, we'll talk about when we do boxing, when we do any technique, well, especially with our boxing, we practice it textbook. So what I mean is we come out, hook. Because sometimes in the heat of the moment, you might throw a hook, but technically it's here, here, here. A hook, low hook. A jab, here. You might throw the elbow up a little bit. We practice the elbow down. Let's talk a little bit about that too. So here's a jab and a cross. It's not here. Look at my elbow. Watch my elbow. This is incorrect. This is correct. This is a correct cross. This is an incorrect cross. A lot of people do that because here's the thing. Throw a punch like that. You can get a lot more power that way initially. But once you learn how to generate power, you will get far more power if you keep it a straight punch. When it comes up here, it's so much easier to see for the opponent to see. So much easier for them to see because it's coming around. When it comes straight at you, it's harder to see. It's harder to react to. You see it, but the mind doesn't react as quickly. So, the jab is here. Here's a cross. There's a 1, 2. Switch your stance. Now this is the jab, 1, 2. It's not about front and back. I mean, it's not about right or left. It is about front and back, precisely. So, 1, 2, 1, 2. And we want to pivot our back foot. So I'm going to move the camera down so you can see that. So we're not just moving we're moving our hip. We're getting our body into it. So we're not just punching our arm out. We're not just punching with our arm or punching with the body. Same with cross. Comes out and back. A good straight punch is hard to block. A good straight punch is hard to block. So, I'm live right now. There's one of the men. Oh, he went away. Anyway. So, how that works on a bag. The reason why we practice textbook, like I said, is because if we practice in textbook, that way when we get out under stress, if you practice at 100% perfect, when you get under stress, you might give 80%, which is going to cover you, which is 80, 85%, which is going to be good enough. But if you practice at 80%, when it comes under stress, you're going to give 60%, which is not good enough. So we practice at as much as we can to perfect as we can get. Remember, practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes permanent. So we train into our bodies perfect mechanics as best as we can. So this in slow motion comes out. There's the 1, the 2. And it doesn't turn here. It doesn't turn here. It makes contact, twists. That's moving a little slow, and back. So it's Well, you're going to double up on the jab more than the cross. It makes contact and then it twists. You know, like the cuts that when boxers get cuts, they got the cut band and they're putting Vaseline on them. That's because they're twisting to tear the flesh. So, and also it gives a little extra push. A little extra push. So for jab cross, now a hook is here. It's like you have a coffee cup. Now you will see boxers with the big gloves and the hand wrapped, and they spend all that time wrapping their hands, so their hands really nice and protected. Let me take this off. Their hands really nice and protected with the wraps and stuff. So they'll go like this because they got the big pillow on their hand. It protects their hand. But you don't want to hit, if you're in a self-defense situation, you don't have gloves and wraps on, you wouldn't hit with these guys. Right here. Because these line up with the bones. These are kind of floating. They don't really line up with anything. And remember the fist. We don't just do this. We bring it in tight, lock it down, squeeze at the moment of impact, and then unsqueeze. Squeeze at moment of impact, and then unsqueeze. We don't relax. We keep it tight. We just don't squeeze it. So, hook is here. So we want to protect our knuckles. Protect yourselves at all times. It's here, as if you miss them with you miss them the chin with the fist. You get them with the elbow. Now, there's a spot right here. Right here. If you find it, right about there, there's a little depression you can find sometimes. Take that, just lightly. Right about here. Right about here. It's the button. You hear the guy right on the button and knocks it on. Just take your hand, take this knuckle here, tap it. Back here, it doesn't feel, it feels like you would expect it to feel. But you go right there and just a little tap like this. Feels like it's really jolting your head. Really jolting your head. All right, so I'm talking to myself. It's not the first time. So, jab, 1, 2, 3 is, now with the 3, it's a shorter punch. So you're out here with the jab, lead with the jab. 85 to 90% of the time, you're going to lead with the jab. Now, for the hook, you have to step in because it's a close range punch. So you're here. You want to get that elbow up as best as you can. You want to train that as best as you can. Now, one of the ways to train making sure that your arms are down, you have a wave master. Great. If you don't have a wave master, see if you can get a wave master. They're they're kind of expensive now. I think they're like $250, $200, $250. Anyway, you can get the sleeves separate now. They didn't used to do that. The sleeves are separate. Well, they're not. Usually you buy them in. Before it was you could only buy, if you wanted a new sleeve, you had to buy a whole new thing. Now they also offer sleeves. So when you're here, you're right here. Keep your arm down. And the same thing with the cross. You don't want this. Just like that. Pivot your hips. Pivot the body. Remember, when you throw a punch, when you fire off a kick, you are not hitting them with your fist. You are not hitting them with your foot. You are hitting them with your entire body. You are kicking them with your entire body. It is just the fist. It is just the foot that delivers the pain, just in foot. So, anyway, and like we were talking about in another video, the haymaker. Here's another thing. A lot of people, right-handed people, they get a stance like this because they can fire off that jab off that right hand. Yes. You can fire it off pretty quick. However, when you train, you can fire it off your opposite hand, your non-dominant hand, and this has when you come off of the cross, it has so much more power. And I'm not talking about the haymaker. Sometimes it's called a roundhouse punch. It has very limited value. I'm not saying it's never useful. It can work for a finishing move when you've got them, and they're not really going to see it anyway. Just bam and knock them for a loop. But if they're fresh, like I said, if somebody comes at me with their opening salvo as a haymaker, just block and punch at the same time, or block and hit him in the jaw, or hit him, block that hand, and right, I'm trying to get it to there, so to the neck. So it comes up, and then you can trap, bring him down. One thing you can do. But this is not an opening salvo. Let me start that again. Many people use it as an opening salvo. This is an opening thing. You see it in bar fights, videos. I've been in a couple potential. I mean, it didn't get very far, but because it stopped as soon as, they threw this big haymaker and I just blocked. And I didn't feel threatened, so I didn't smash the guy into bits. He threw a punch and I had to stop it. But it stopped there because, like I said, I didn't feel that my life was under threat. I just didn't want him to hit me. So, anyway, because remember, people say to me sometimes, I tell them my background and what I'm training. 25 years of Taekwondo. When I was training, I also was training under Krav Maga, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, boxing, Kali. I trained all of these things. So my teaching rank is second degree Taekwondo. I lost the thread. So, they'll say to me, well, I better not make you mad. And, I used to not know what to say to that. It's like, I had no idea how to respond to that. And eventually I figured what to say is, well, me being mad at you is not enough reason for me to do anything to you or for me to hit you. My safety has to be in danger. The safety of my loved ones. I can't just, if I'm mad, I can't just go up and clock someone. A couple times, a kid called me, when I say kid, I mean like in his 20-something, called me an old man. And I was like, bring it, punk. I didn't say this, but in my head, I'm like, bring it. I'll show you, old man. But it didn't happen. Anyway, because you can't just go out and just because you're mad at someone, punch them. It's not okay, or attack them. It's not okay. In Nebraska, you are the assault. You then committed assault. So, anyway, like as I was saying, back to the lesson. Here. Keeping your elbow down. Because you can get, once you get this under control, you can get so much more power from that than you can from that. I mean, you can get a good stiff jab out of that, but that's all you're going to get. you get just as much stiff jab out of here. I have a really stiff jab. Come over with an elbow strike. So that was the first three: the jab, cross, hook. I'm going to talk about then all 9 punches. And then there's the 4. So it's 1, 2, 3. This is the numbering system I learned. 4, which is a low hook to the body. 5, low hook to the body in front. 6 is an overhand right, or if you're left-handed, an overhand left. But it's when they've got their hands, drop down, comes over the top, and punches to the right here, to the jaw ideally, and then comes back. You don't go through. All the punches come right straight. You punch out as fast as you can, and then you bring back your hands even faster than you physically can. It's like a joke. It's different from a joke. It's not actually funny. Anyway, so it's out, back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7 is an uppercut. And an uppercut only travels a little bit. So you have to get underneath it. And then 8 here. And then 9, I had a boxing coach who liked to call it a uppercut. So it's not really a hook. And it's not really an uppercut. It's in between. So it's like if you're here, it's a way of getting up at the ribs underneath the elbow. So at this kind of an angle. So it's not a big loopy punch. You want to keep your hands near your face. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now, when we switch our stance, like I said, jab and cross and all these, if it's an odd number, it's in the front. 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 3, 5. So 7, 9. It's off the lead. 2, 4, 6 off the back, and 8. So we have jab, cross, hook, high hook, low hook off the back, low hook off the front, overhand punch to the jaw, up, which is a 6, uppercut to the uppercut to the front from the lead hand, uppercut with the back, and then a uppercut to the ribs off the lead hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So sped up to life size, light speed. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And when you're working out with your bag, start off with that. And then you work combinations. With an elbow strike. Elbow strikes are not boxing. I did say boxing, so I'll leave the elbow strikes on for the minute. So, we don't go to tournaments because we don't do tournament fighting. We don't do the fight game for like boxing. It doesn't work for us. We do we're practicing for it if someone were to actually attack us. So in the street, there's no rules. Don't expect them to fight fair. And if they fall down, don't give them a hand up. I had one instructor says, yeah, if someone were to give me a hand up, I would act like I'm going to take it, and then I'd pull him into a punch. He would take advantage of their offer of help. He would take advantage of what he would see as a weakness in the street. Now, in the dojang, in the studio, in the school, in the dojo, whatever word you want to use for it. I either say dojang, the Korean word, because Taekwondo, and well, I don't know how it's actually said. I have another video that talks about why I use mostly English words. One time I was using a Korean word that I knew to a man from Korea who did ITF Taekwondo, who used General Choi's original Che. Because it looks like Choi does, but it's from watching K-dramas. Che. C-H-O-I. I-O, yeah, C-H-O-I. They pronounce it Che. But one of the shows that I watch, a couple of the Korean movies that I watch, TV shows that I sometimes watch. Anyway, and I don't remember what word it was back in 2005, 2006. And he had no idea what I was saying. And when I finally got him to understand the word that I was saying, he said, oh, you mean, and I said, you mean X. And I said, that's what I said. He goes, no, it isn't. You said this. The word is this. I didn't hear a difference. Not saying there wasn't a difference. I'm sure there was. I didn't hear it. So I figured traditionally, they spoke their mother tongue. They didn't speak a foreign language poorly. So I mostly use English words, but sometimes I like to use it because people like dojang. And the reason why I use sensei is on another video, and I'm not going to go into it now. If you want to know, you're welcome to leave a comment. Even if you want to know something else, and I have some things on here that I want you to work. If you have questions on any of this, please, please, please ask. And if you're not sure if it makes sense, something I'm saying that makes sense, or your question doesn't make sense, I fall under the don't be afraid to ask a foolish question. They're easier to deal with than dumb mistakes, especially in self-defense and in the fighting thing. When protecting yourself, that is not the time to make a foolish mistake, especially when it can be cleared up with just a simple question. I don't mind foolish questions. I've been known to ask a foolish question or two in my time. Can't see my eyes. Anyway, well, I've been going on for 23 minutes, and maybe you'll watch this in retrospect. We talked a little bit about boxing, about technical, about the hand movements, because then we didn't get into the head movement. That's a whole bunch of stuff. One of the things about this stuff is that there's so many little subtleties that you have to stay focused. You have to train. You can't just learn it once and expect, oh, I learned that once. Oh, I know all about Taekwondo. I was a yellow belt as a child. I've heard that. And I do my best to not say, well, and with my Asperger's, I probably am not as nice about it as I'd like to be. I probably do say something blunt. I don't mean to be mean, but like I always say sometimes, I'm subtle like a brick through the window. I do my best. Anyway, I'm rambling, and we will be done. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, I have that PayPal link on my homepage, my web YouTube homepage. There's also the link for my website. And I think there's a link for my my Facebook page. I'm not very good at Facebook, so you're welcome to go there. Oh, real quick. I have Nerf War coming up next Saturday. Nerf War. Wait right there. I don't want to shoot my computer. Anyway, $10, safety glasses, water will be provided, bottled water, cake will be provided. If you want to bring snacks to share, like packages of little packages, single serving packages of crackers, chips, cookies, various types of snacks. No cans, please, no soda, no big bottles of drink, no gallons. So, and it's a good time. We have a lot of fun. So I look forward to seeing as many of you out there at Nerf War next week. And if you're in the greater Omaha area, 2920 Bondison Street. It's just south of 680, about a quarter of a mile south of 680 on 30th Street. It's on the east side of 30th. In the same building as the public library. Different part of the building, but just that building, the community center. We'll be in the gym. Nerfing registration starts at 11. Nerfing starts at 11:20. We'll go for about an hour, hour and a half, depending on what the energy level's like. It depends on how things are going. So until then,